So it's December 3rd, 2017. I'm doing this video. I did one last night after just being dead tired, and because I unplugged myself from the world for a while when I through Thanksgiving, and I've kind of actually through the last few years I've unplugged myself from a lot of the media outlets. If you don't realize it, you kind of get brainwashed by if you just watch the same, like CBS, ABC, Fox, even Fox, and then they're probably one of the better ones, but you can easily get your critical thinking abilities confined to a box. So I'm actually doing this video real quick when I'm driving. It's actually where I do most of my thoughts. Like, there's two places in the world where men do some of their great thinking, and one of them we'd probably rather not have a camera in there, and the other one is when you're driving, when you're just kind of paying attention to what's going on and looking out and checking things out, you're pondering. Anyway, so some of the things that I failed to mention last night was Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer's fired. If everything is true, what he's done, and it seems like it is, he deserves to be gone. There's another congressman, another sexual assault or harassment assault allegation, and I don't know if he's going to resign or not. And I know there's mounting pressure on those guys, but they're usually the last ones. These guys are they're like fleas or bed bugs. They're really tough to get out. I mean, you got to really nuke the place. But on the Matt Lauer thing, it's kind of shocking because he's been there for years. I mean, growing up as a kid, seeing him, and he's even such a staple. He's in some movies, but it just goes to show you, and this sexual assault thing is running deep. Who knows what the next shoe to drop is? Who knows who's next? I don't know. To me, I don't even, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's really a problem of sexual harassment or assault. I actually believe it's endemic of the state of manhood in this country. I see it around these other places. There are a few spots in the country where there's still men. It's almost like it's not there's bad things 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, but I mean the men were men, and they there's a certain way you treated women. There's just a certain general essence you bring to things, and there's definitely not that anymore. There's a lot of sniveling. I call it sniveling. I just see people that don't have a spine. They are very sexual, and I don't know how to explain it really. I'm sure there's some psychologists out there that really, kind of know what I'm getting at here, but it's very interesting to see the evolution of pretty much where men are no longer men. They're almost just, I don't even know what to call them. It's kind of disgusting to me when I'm going throughout the day and encountering these type of individuals, and they're all over the place. But I believe it's that type of mentality that's permeated Hollywood, that's permeated the entertainment industry and our own society, and that's where we're getting all this sexual harassment, sexual assault. And I think overall, some of it is women that are lying, and some of it is women that are the guy's just not attractive or whatever. But a lot of it is, I think, there's just no men, and this is the way these things are going down. But anyway, let's get off that topic. I like to focus on a lot of the economic side of things, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. We got we got a new Fed chairman that's being nominated. I think there's another vacancy Trump is nominating another person for on the board of directors. In economics, during the Obama era and through the last pretty much 7 to 8 years, everything that you look at is based on what the Fed's doing, which is not good. I don't care if the GDP number's good. I don't care if they're saying the unemployment number's good. If everything that an investor has to look at goes back to what the Fed's policy is, there's something wrong there. Instead of, like, when I went to school for finance, and what I've taught myself, and what I've done, when you're looking at fundamentals of a company, you're looking at trends, you're looking at real statistics, instead of having to worry about what Fed monetary policy is or what they're going to do on the whim. That's when they're the central theme on economic growth or investing, then you got a problem. And we all know that it's a socialized system, that the Federal Reserve is one of the central tenets to socialism, to Marxism. It's basically controlling of the monetary system, controlling of the currency. They're part of every transaction now, essentially. It's price fixing in its best definition. But other than that, so we look at that. I look at that a lot. I mean, everybody looks at the Fed policy. I like to look for future trends. We look at the bond market. They are the canaries in the mines. So you look. I like 5-year to 30-year yield curve. 10s and 30s, whatever your choices. But anyway, you look at the yield curve, and lately it's not been looking so hot. It looks like it's flattening out. And if you look at the trend back, if you look at that and you look back at around 2006 and 7, you see something very similar. And then in the other bubble that popped in the early 2000s, you see another similarity there. So I like to look at that. I look at gold and silver, which is highly manipulated. If you don't believe in manipulated markets, all you got to do is look at the gold market and the silver market when they're actually selling more paper, gold, and silver than there is actually physical piece of the physical element there. You got some problems that when you have people that are just dumping tens of thousands of contracts and they don't even seem to care about price, which most traders, if you got a large position, you kind of want to get out of that market without ruffling any feathers. You want to sell at the highest price you possibly can, and these guys are just dumping it. That's an alarming thing in my opinion, but it also tells you that there are some manipulated markets there. What else do I look at? I mean, some individual companies are definitely bellwether still, but it's mainly just ride the coattails of the Fed and the trend. But I do read into some of this because some of these individual sectors are one I like to pay attention to. Oil and gas, but a lot of individual sectors like retail's not doing so hot, but I think some of that has to be a shift of online. There's a but it's happening for years, so it's not 100% online. It's definitely some weakness in the economy. And if you haven't noticed, I've paid attention over the last 20 years or 15 years or whatever. If you just pay attention, and you notice that people are over indebted, but people are trying to do more with less, which is not a bad thing. But they are, they're more selective with the dollars. There's not a sense of wealth as you had like when my generation was growing up. And it's just not there, and you can just overall sense, and a lot of these statistics, so I believe a lot of them are made up. They just don't capture that. If it was me, one of the biggest things I also look at is what's the purchasing power? Like what is your actual income? And it hasn't gone up. So we're actually declining as a nation. One of the effects of having a fiat money system and a debt-based currency is you do have these inequalities. I'm kind of going off on a different topic here, but people are always, oh god, we got an ambulance, another person in trouble. But I'm gonna take a break here. I gotta get some gas here. So to wrap this thing up, I mean, I just do these things on the fly, so I actually had to interrupt it to get a little diesel in the old wagon here. So one of the things about having a fiat monetary system is you have these inequalities of people, growing inequalities, because how you grow wealth is through productive uses of debt, buying assets and whatnot, and usually people don't have access to that credit because not only the debt-based money system has driven up some asset prices, but if you don't have access to credit, then you can't get assets. And you're a self-perpetuating system where you start losing part of that middle class. But that's just one part of that. Let's see, what else is going on in the world today? Well, we have foreign policy stuff. North Korea destruction of ISIS, which is that's a good thing, even though we partially created those yard birds. North Korea thing, who knows what's going on there. I just hope that we have the intelligence and where we know all these missile sites are located. We know where all the nuclear manufacturing facilities are. So that if there is a strike, it's very calculated and swift. So there's hardly an ability for a counter-strike. I know there's never a 100% solution, and General Mattis is probably very aware of this. But I'm praying that they have that intelligence before we do anything. It's vital. Otherwise, if they could get a missile off, it would be devastating, obviously. So I know we have the great Secretary of Defense and the right people in charge, which is one of the reasons I like. Very supportive of the president. And a lot of successful business people. It seems to be that's one of their things, and that's why they're successful, is they put the right people in the right places, and he's certainly done that, whether you like him or not, which I like him. I think the more I learn about this guy, the more feeling the more I get about him, the more I pray about it or whatnot. He seems to be the real deal, and there's just a vitriol hatred of him from the media, and the more they hate him, the more I like him. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this one short because I'm getting to my destination here, and these videos will be improving. I mean, it's kind of actually dog shit quality, because a lot of times I'm super busy, so I'm trying to do these in very odd times and trying to remember stuff off the fly, which usually I'm pretty good at. My mind's pretty sharp. But so anyway, stay tuned. We're gonna up the quality a little bit. We're gonna refine some things and get better too. And I keep forgetting I did that meme of the day, and I want to do that some more because it's hilarious. But anyway, we'll talk to you later. Bye.